I'm up in Northern California today, and I'm going to go meet with Robert Nhan. And I've been wanting to meet Robert for years. When I went back to message him, the last time I talked to him was 11 years ago. I was trying to meet up with him at one of our frog events, and unfortunately I was vending and it was just way too busy to get a chance to talk. But he was kind enough to agree to meet with me today and let me do an interview on his history in the frog business. And for any of the experienced frog keepers out here, you certainly know who Robert is. For any of the newcomers, you should probably know who Robert is. He has been in our industry for decades, working with pomeilio and histrionica and a number of other rare frogs, and I am so excited to get a chance to interview him today. So stay tuned. All right, so I'm here today with Robert Nhan. He's a famous dart frog breeder and also apparently a famous fish breeder, I just found out. So thank you so much for meeting us today, Robert. And so I wanted to go into your start in the hobby. You started getting frogs, you said over 30 years ago?
Yeah, something like that. It was a while ago. And I also, water guy, dealing with anything aquatic. So I keep a lot of fish and, mainly killifish.
So how did you get into the killifish?
A friend of mine invited me to a fish meeting one time. And I saw, interesting fish, so beautiful. So what happened was I bought my fish, got it home, put it in a nice tank. And the next morning I found it on the floor, dry off. Still a mad frog. But after that I got hooked into fish. And at one time I have over 200 fish tank at my parents' home. And of course, none of us keep only one thing. So a friend of mine who was in fish also keep frog. And I will check this Shihara. It has sent me some frog to play around with. And people usually start with one tank. I started with 24 frog. That was my starter frog. I had it for a while. And then after that, I cut down the fish and, go to frog.
So you said you had 200 frog, it turned into 200 frog tanks after that.
Yes.
And now you're down to 50 frog tanks. This is your downsizing
Yeah,
we're
I'm
at
cutting
50.
down like 75%, right? That's a lot of cut down.
But you started with 24, so you're saying you already started big, went even bigger, and now are downsized to a manageable 50 tanks.
Right. Well, that was not by design. That was by force.
By force. Only 50 tanks. I could only dream of keeping so many frogs.
Yeah.
And so you said before this, you said you came from Vietnam when you were 16 and you had a farm in Vietnam.
Yeah, I have a farm. I always love animals. So I have the area where I keep, I raise a rooster.
Mm-hmm.
A couple hundred rooster. I have ducks, different kind of duck, different kind of rooster. I have birds. I have squirrel. I have rabbits running around the yard. That my zoo.
But you said your family was never allowed to eat your pets.
Not even eggs.
Not even the eggs.
Not even eggs. So I keep expanding, and I have different, strange animal.
And so from there, you came here, and then you got into the killifish, and then from there, Chuck introduced you to the frogs.
Yes.
And so now you said, frogs and birds, and you still have fish.
I have fish. I have a koi pond. I have my marine tank. I have 2 cages of parrots.
Oh my God.
And 1 big aviary flying cage for finches and tanagers.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a few types of lizards.
So you said you have a small lizard room, and then you said your frog room was what, 30 feet long? Was that?
No, that was. Right now it's small. Right now, right now it's only 8 by 12.
Okay, so the one at your parents' house was the 30-foot long frog room.
That was the free marriage and free kid day. That was
right. The single. I have lots of time for hobbies days.
You can wake up. You can stay up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Nobody complains.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But even in your smaller stays, you were telling me how many frogs. So you do the pomeilios and the large groups, which you're the only one I've really talked to that successfully kept pomeilios in large groups. So how many pomeilio have you kept in a tank?
One time I got rid of 1 tank. I sent to a friend of mine in Sean Harrington. I broke out the tank, and I have over 50 frogs in 2x2.
What type of pomeilio was the?
It was a salt creek.
You had over, oh my gosh, in a 2x2 tank.
Yeah.
And so what's your trick for keeping all the pomeilio together in the large groups?
Make sure that you have enough hiding places,
Mm-hmm.
And also when you see the aggression, keep an eye on them, and then try to remove them. So take them out, both take them out, and then keep them separate, then put them back together.
So you reintroduce them to try to let them start over?
Right, but you don't want to keep you don't want to take one and put them back because they'll fight again. The aggressive one will be pick on the other ones. So you take both out, keep them separate for a couple of weeks, and put them back.
So they have to establish completely new territory in the tank when you remove them. And then also you said something about open spaces and leaf litter?
Yeah, leaf litter. I use before I use anything that I use bird paradise. I cut down. Make sure you have a layer of spaces. For them to hide. So right now I mostly use magnolia leaf.
Okay.
And not just the leaf, the single leaf in the bottom.
Okay.
But I keep the branch.
Okay, so a whole branch of leaves.
The whole branch. So basically, give them kind of umbrella.
Okay, so there's layers to your leaf litter, and so they have lots of places to hide and escape each other.
Yeah, and that's the trick for keeping frog in group.
That is really impressive. So, what is your species that you're most proud of breeding?
I think it's the maintenance for a long time. Mostly the pomeilio. I have the bree for I don't know how many years.
You said over 30 years you've had your colony of bree going?
And then they still have it, and they're still strong, and it's beautiful, and it should be around. That's
a very impressive accomplishment. So you've got multiple generations going in your tank still
I
after.
didn't count how many generations of the original group.
You're probably at F20 by now in your frog tank.
Yeah. And I don't keep the frog too long. So for example, when I want to sell some frog, I don't want to sell. Not selling is the wrong word. I'm using kind of try to maintain a hobby. So I try to let go the proven pair for people to keep them going. So then I set up two separate tanks. So for example, if this year I want to let go 3 pair of pomeilio, then I set them separate 3 tanks and let them breed for 1 generation or 2 generations. So people have a young frog too.
So they're established.
Right. That's selling mass quantity of frog is not my goal. My goal is to keep them in a hobby.
Right.
So basically, I just rotate them that way.
So you want to make sure that these locales, these stay around and they're not disappearing. So you're getting them established so that the breeders can keep them going.
Right.
So which locales? I know you said you had over 30 at some point of the pomeilio?
Yes.
You've had pretty much everything that there's been in the hobby.
Right, the old one, the Darkland, the Loma Petita, Bree, quite a few. The name escaped me the moment, but I have
right, but you've had them.
Yeah.
And then you've also worked with Leimania, you said, and Silverstone Eye, and you did histrionicas too, right?
Yeah.
You've had
in the old days, yes.
You've had pretty much everything there's had to have.
I have 200 area for space.
Right.
So I've read all kind of galactinodes. All tinctorius, Yeah, I love those.
So the ones you said you started with from Chuck, those were you said tinctorius and auratus, and you started with the more kind of basic species, but that was what was available, I guess, back then as well. Yes. That was. So what have you seen changes in the hobby over the last 30 years?
It's more commercialized now, and there's a lot of new hobby is coming in now. There's people not ready for them. They just, I'm ready to do this much, and then find out that it's difficult and the time constraint, and they just let go. So
they're impulse purchases.
Yeah. So our goal is not to mass or commercialize them, but to make sure that they've been around for generation. That's the reason why I do group breeding rather than setting individual tank to mass produce.
That's a very good goal, and I'm very grateful that you have kept a lot of these going. Because like I said, I was just hunting down Darklands, and they are very hard to find now. So it's nice to know.
Yeah, I feel bad that I let it go, because when I let go, I let go many pairs. You're talking about the 20s.
And they've all disappeared. See, you can't ever retire. We need you. You're our library of dart frogs, and we need you to keep them going.
Yeah, right now it's difficult because my wife keeps an eye on me.
You can only do so much as one man. I understand. We got to step up and do our part and keep these going as well.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about mistakes that we see newcomers make. So what do you think some of the big mistakes newcomers make in the hobby?
I think the mistake was the impulse purchasing and the setup. When you set up the tank, make sure that, think of it this way, someday you're tired, someday you might be sick. think of the way how the frogs survive without you maintain them, do a lot of hard work every day.
Mm-hmm.
So the set up nesting system, a training system,
Mm-hmm.
and a feeding system that suitable for emergency.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is your tips for feeding in emergencies? What do you?
I usually make extra fruit fly.
Mm-hmm.
I if I don't use it, to throw it away. It's cheap rather than you have to buy them and ship it in, and your
Right.
frog in trouble.
So always just have a surplus going.
Always have surplus. Always have a backup plan.
Mm-hmm.
I bought some UPS. Just 3 of them. One for my fish,
Mm-hmm.
one for my lizard room, and one for frog room, just in case happen. And I have a convertible, sort of like power generator.
Okay.
And also the one that you can run off your car.
So you have multiple options if your power ever goes out and you need
just in case, because you need it one time
and lose everything.
You lose everything.
Right.
It's expensive, but it's cheaper when you see your animal die, and then not just the frog, not the animal, but your mental state today.
Right. It's devastating.
Yeah, devastating.
Definitely. You filled me in on so much over breakfast, and I just don't even know where to go with this because you've accomplished so much. You were telling me about breeding seahorses and all your work with all these different animals you've worked with, and you are just one of the most impressive people I think I've ever talked to. Is there anything else you'd like to share about your life? You did share a lot.
Well, I came here when I was, I think 16. I have a couple years of high school here, went to college, and then, basically settled in the Bay Area for, 45, 46 years, something like that.
So you've been here a very long time.
Very long time. And I probably in the hobby, not just frog, but any animal that long. I keep animal all my life.
Mm-hmm.
And you're asking about the advice for the young folks is, number one, I mentioned the setup.
Mm-hmm.
And number two is when you're asking for advice, try to get the information. Then you can ask advice from different people, but don't try to compare them because there's no universal way of getting things right.
Mm-hmm.
You can ask one person, do this way. You can say, hey, that guy do the other way.
Right.
Which one's right, which wrong? There's no right or wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get the information and get it work for yourself.
Figure out what works for you.
Exactly. Otherwise, you create more chaos. You're asking for advice, and you say that guy is wrong, the other one is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not right.
So what works for you might not work for somebody else. They need to
just think
figure
of
out.
it this way: do you hold a hammer in the right hand or left hand?
Mm-hmm.
Think of that way, right? So which one is correct?
Mm-hmm.
So the right hand people say, hey, this is correct, and the left hand this is correct. So and you say, oh, this guy doing this, guy doing that, and that's not the way to grow the community. You basically, I don't mind helping people out. That anybody ever send me an email or message asking me for advice, I all reply. But I don't reply in the general group because one time I'm called an idiot by a young kid.
And that young kid obviously did not know who he was talking to, or
yeah, and I think that turned a lot of older folk away. Because we're too old to deal with drama. We don't, to deal with those things unnecessary in our life. So.
Right. I noticed a lot of people disappeared after the forums kind of shut down because it was a lot of newcomers kind of not wanting to listen to the older advice, and so hopefully you've got so much knowledge, and I want to keep bugging you probably. I'm sure people have follow-up questions on this, and luckily I come up here often enough. We can always...
Yeah, no problem. People can always, send me messages, asking for advice. I have no problem replying.
Well, thank you so much for meeting with me, Robert. I appreciate it. You are just a library, an encyclopedia, I think, of across all these different species that you've worked with.
Yeah, I got some tricks, I say once you're in the hobby for a while and you see some things, and so
the light bulb goes off, and
yes, that's the way it is. So let me tell you, one time I took my son to a wildlife refuge to do volunteer work, and while he was working and walking around a different rock, I saw some gammas, in the rock. I said, oh yeah, this is perfect for breeding seahorses.
Mm-hmm.
So I collect them, bring them home, and bred them, and I feed to my seahorses. They're doing great. The same thing for when I went for bay fishing, and I saw that they sell some live shrimp with eggs. So I bought them, get it home and breed them. then they put food for my seahorses too. So that's something you develop over the year, and you see something that work for you. And you're like, that's
The light bulb. I can use this. I can apply this, and you found all new food sources for your
yeah.
seahorse. You really have bred, I think, just about.
Yeah, I've bred pretty much everything. I bred betta fish. I bred cichlid, seahorses. Marine fish, parrots, lizard, of course, frog, and a fish. I used to send a lot of fish to AKA convention.
The cichlid convention, yes.
Yeah. Not the cichlid, but mostly killing.
Oh, okay, that's right. Okay. And you were saying you provided to institutions as well, and for that was for the killifish, right?
Yeah.
You were doing the rare species.
Yeah.
That is really impressive.
Yeah, I used to send fish to what's called new and rare for the AKA. I supply fish for them.
So you said you shipped fish all over the world.
Yes, I did.
And you've gotten fish from all over the world. You were telling me Germany and was it Switzerland and all sorts of.
Right, in a younger day, fortunately.
Right. When you tell me everything you do, and I still don't know how you fit this all into a week, and you keep saying when I was younger, and if this is you now, I don't know how you had so much time when you were younger.
You have to be efficient, very efficient.
And you don't sleep, as you explained.
No, I do sleep, but
Not enough. Not enough.
Because it's supposed to be enjoyment, not a chore, So that I don't take it that way. It's my way of it's a man cave, It's my way of relaxing. My wife said that, hey, you work so many hours. When you go home, sit down, watch TV. But say, feeding my frog, spend time in my frog room is my refuge.
Right. That is your TV.
Yeah, that's how I relax, So
Nice. Is there anything else you want to add, or you've already given us a lot?
Yeah, if you have any question, I think follow up, you can always ask you, and then
we can do the follow-up video. We can do the part 2 interview.
Yeah, yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for meeting with us today, Robert. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.